If you or a loved one is suffering from a mental illness, I beg you to watch this video.
Senator Josh Hawley says that whistleblower David Grush's claims surrounding unidentified flying objects is pretty close to information he received in a briefing after the United States shot down a spy balloon as well as other UFOs this past winter. Hawley told the outlet Wired, quote, "The takeaway from the briefing is that they had thousands of sightings of these things over the years, which was news to me, so I'm not surprised necessarily by these latest allegations because it sounds pretty close to what they kind of grudgingly admitted to us in the briefing." So I would love to follow up with Josh Hawley there to hear more details. So if he's just saying that, well, yes, we got a report about UFOs, unidentified flying objects, right, that is well established. I believe that our pilots, other people have seen objects that they can't account for, maybe have recovered pieces of objects that we're not sure of its origins. Grush was making the specific claim that he knows someone, he has spoken to someone who can speak to crafts that were recovered that are not of human origin, and also pilots that were recovered that are not of human origin. Is Hawley saying that's what he heard in closed-door meetings on this subject? Because that would be pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the nature or pattern or whatever was described in reaction to the most recent UFO event is similar to what he had heard behind closed doors. But that could mean that what he heard behind closed doors is about non-alien craft. I mean, to your point about UFOs just being, I completely understand. But other things Grush has said, I mean, the idea of non-human remains being captured or craft, machine, technology that clearly is of non-human origin, that's a different kind of a thing than there was an unidentified object and it turns out to be a weather balloon or an enemy plane or whatever, another country.
Right, but Hawley was saying that what Grush is saying sounds like things he's heard, behind closed doors. Yeah,
I mean, look, he's talking to someone else, and I understand that he doesn't want to give up his source. Completely understand that.
Grush.
But there is something, we were dealing with this a little bit with Cy Hirsch's story. It seems to me that in some cases, there are corroborating details short of your source. So explain to me why you believe your source. I'm not asking you to say, well, I believe my source because his name is da-da-da-da and he's a journalist with such and such. No. But I am asking you to say, well, specifically, what about the remains indicated they were of non-human origin?
Yes, to that point, that's why I specifically asked Cy Hirsch when we had him on. I'm like, well, did he have documents to show you? Plans, papers.
Sure. Or even, how do you know that this organic matter was extraterrestrial? Did it have compounds in it that are not present on Earth? There has been a tradition of kind of fake science, museum exhibits in the Victorian era of monkey tops sewn onto dolphin bottoms, and you say this is a mermaid, and people go and tour this thing for years. We used to live in a world where that kind of fantasy exhibition was very common. So, I think it's reasonable to want to corroborate that the mound of flesh that you're looking at isn't just from a tapir or some weird animal that we have on Earth.
A platypus. The weirdest animal of all.
A platypus, or one of these deep sea creatures, or whatever it is. So is there, what about the technology led people to believe that it had to be extraterrestrial again? Is it because it was made out of minerals that are not present or common on Earth? Is it because the technology could do things that human technology hasn't been able to accomplish? Levitate, go at warp speed, whatever it is. Those are the kinds of things which I think would be more reassuring to people who are skeptical. And as the story continues to play out without more corroborating details, I do think that people's attention span is going to begin to wane.
Yeah. I want to see the put up or shut up. I keep saying that. I want to see the report. I want to talk to not the guy who talked to the guy who knows something, but the guy who knows something.
Yeah, I mean, do you have an?
But I mean, sometimes these things are accurate. Like we're talking a lot today and this week about COVID's origins. Michael Schellenberger, just on his Substack with Matt Taibbi, reported that these are the names of the 3 people who got COVID first. They're scientists at the lab, suggesting beyond any reasonable doubt that that's where it came from. It was not reported anywhere else. He had a confidential source or sources that he couldn't share with us, and so we reported that, and we said, well, we can't verify it, but this is a journalist. These are journalists we genuinely trust who think have done good work, and that's what they're saying. And now this week it was confirmed also by the Wall Street Journal under similar circumstances. So sometimes somebody a little. I'm going to say off the beaten path or not part of an institution or an establishment does have information that turns out to be correct. This is going to end up being a textbook case of that.
Yeah.
He had a blank look in his eye. He didn't know who we were. He didn't know we were his daughters.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true.
Oh, there's the president sitting there signing a document. What the heck were we worried about?
For this list, we'll be going over the strangest and most famous conspiracy theories that were actually conspiracy facts. Is there a theory you once believed that you now realize was a load of baloney? Tell us in the comments. Number 10, Roswell cover-up. In the summer of 1947, an object crashed down to Earth in Roswell, New Mexico. Theories that it was an alien spacecraft have pervaded pop culture for over a half a century since.
Everybody thinks that Roswell was the first sighting of a UFO in the United States, and that bull roar.
The U.S. Air Force claimed that the object was merely a weather balloon, only added fuel to the fire. And the conspiracy theorists were right. It was no weather balloon, and there was a cover-up. But it wasn't an alien ship either, probably. The object was a high-altitude balloon launched as part of Project Mogul. These balloons were intended to detect sound waves from Soviet atomic bomb tests. During the Cold War, the U.S. military couldn't exactly be honest about that in the papers. Now, whether you think that's another cover story, well...
This better not be another damn Russian spy job.
Number 9, Big Tobacco's big lie.
There's extensive use of this technology, which is called ammonia chemistry, that allows for nicotine to be more rapidly absorbed in the lungs and therefore affect the brain and central nervous system.
Smoking causes lung cancer and a lot of other adverse health effects. Scientists demonstrated this definitively in the 1950s. However, public opinion wavered for decades, with sources springing up to generate controversy and debate. Some suspected that the tobacco industry was suppressing and distorting the facts through a coordinated campaign, and it eventually came out that they were. Together, the world's largest tobacco companies initiated Operation Berkshire to generate fake controversy and debate. Big Tobacco knew that smoking caused cancer and that nicotine was addictive. They decided not to make cigarettes less harmful because addiction made them a lot of money.
Now, the work we did here is confidential, not for public scrutiny, any more than our one's family matters.
You're threatening my family now, too.
Just goes to show, where there's smoke, there's often fire.
See how camels agree with your throat. See how mild and good tasting a cigarette can be.
Number 8, the White Sox through the World Series. The Chicago White Sox are on record for having one of the longest droughts between winning World Series at 87 years. However, they weren't always known for their bad luck. Back in the late 1910s, the Sox won in 1917, and they even had a wonder like Shoeless Joe Jackson on the team. Yet, rumors during the 1919 series held that the games were fixed. The White Sox lost the series, but the rumors persisted into the next year. Eventually, a grand jury found evidence that 8 players, including Jackson, though his role is disputed, were involved in a conspiracy to receive money in exchange for throwing the series.
I think the Black Sox players saw a high reward for what they were doing. They could make as much as their yearly salary in 1 week for fixing the World Series.
While a trial found them not guilty, they were nevertheless banned from the league permanently. Number 7, nefarious agents infiltrated the government. The Church of Scientology is infamously touchy about any criticism of their organization.
Yes! But I didn't mean anything by it. I don't even know L. Ron Hubbard.
Their influence over celebrities is well known, but theories about their influence over the government are also out there. And here's the thing. Scientologists really did infiltrate the government. In the 1970s, at least 5,000 members of the organization conducted espionage on government agencies and private organizations. And this wasn't a fringe element either. The founder's wife, Mary Sue Hubbard, pleaded guilty and went to prison. It was one of the largest-scale infiltrations of the U.S. government in history. All of this was done with the aim of destroying evidence that painted Scientology in an unfavorable light. It arguably had quite the opposite effect.
Boy, those Scientologists, they can be pretty sensitive.
Number 6. The FBI spied on political activists.
All power to all the people!
Those involved in political protests and other activist causes are often paranoid that they're being watched. And they should be, because it's happened before and it can happen again.
Tapes from the hotel rooms, FBI reports, those are pieces of information that we shouldn't have.
From the late 50s to the early 70s, the FBI engaged in illegal surveillance, infiltration, and disruption of protest movements and other organizations deemed subversive.
He realized how sick this country was. We were trying to reveal the truth about segregation.
These ranged from independence movements to civil rights movements to feminist organizations. They even had John Lennon, the former Beatles frontman, under watch. While this program, named COINTELPRO, was abolished in 1971, others may have taken its place.
This represents the darkest part of the Bureau's history.
Number 5. The first female U.S. president. While the United States has yet to elect a woman to the office of president, by electoral college anyway, some theorize that a woman has assumed the duties of the office already. In 1919, President Woodrow Wilson suffered a debilitating stroke. This left him bedridden and partially paralyzed with some impaired judgment.
If I don't help him be president, what a kind of wife am I?
For over a year, Wilson's wife Edith aided him in governing the country, to the point where she was basically performing his job in all but name. The degree of her involvement was kept a close secret, and Wilson herself denied that she made executive decisions until her death.
So he's like sitting there, and they like move his arm, and then they just release that to the press, and that's how dumb people were back then.
Number 4. The government is spying on you. The common refrain for cranks and conspiracy nuts for decades has been that the government is watching our every move. And it's not completely wrong. With the rise of smartphones and the internet, the government has unprecedented access to information on its citizens.
They're following us.
In the wake of 9/11, the Bush administration initiated far-reaching mass surveillance programs, both foreign and domestic. The NSA's activities in the years since have included sucking up and storing online history, emails, metadata, text messages, you name it. Edward Snowden revealed a lot of this info with his leaks, including how other governments were also implicated.
Even if you send it to somebody within the United States, your wholly domestic communication between you and your wife can go from New York to London and back and get caught up in the database.
Few believe that in the time since, governments have just given up. Number 3. False justification for war. In August 1964, the USS Maddox fired a warning shot as 3 North Vietnamese torpedo boats approached the Gulf of Tonkin. After the torpedo boats opened fire, the Maddox sank all 3. 2 days later, the report of a second attack prompted President Lyndon B. Johnson to authorize further military action in Vietnam. For years, people questioned this justification.
At one point, the commander of the ship said, "We're not certain of the attack." Another point, they said, "Yes, we're absolutely positive." And then finally, late in the day, Admiral Sharp said, "Yes, we're certain it happened."
It was eventually revealed that the second attack was imaginary, based on wrongly interpreted communications intercepts. It wasn't the last dubious rationale for war. In 1990, George H.W. Bush leveraged false testimony crafted by a public relations firm to initiate the Gulf War. Over a decade later, his son would falsely claim that Iraq possessed WMDs to justify an invasion.
The people of the United States and our friends and allies will not live at the mercy of an outlaw regime that threatens the peace with weapons of mass murder.
Number 2. Watergate scandal. Perhaps the most well-known political conspiracy of all time, the Watergate scandal was unthinkable when it occurred.
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook.
The scandal began when Republican President Richard Nixon's administration illegally wiretapped and broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters.
We don't know who ordered the burglary, and we don't really know what the burglars were up to that night.
Their aim was to acquire information about Nixon's opposition in the forthcoming election. The arrest of the perpetrators led to attempts by Nixon and his administration to cover up their involvement. However, mounting evidence and leaks soon exploded into a scandal that has become a byword for political disgrace, leading to Nixon's resignation.
One of the things that's so hard to recreate and understand now, looking back, is there was no sense that the president could lie to the American people.
Things have changed, Garrett.
Things have changed today.
Number 1, the CIA conducted mind control experiments. The idea of a government agency trying to control people's minds might sound like science fiction, but it really happened.
Prostitutes would lure men to these apartments, and then once the men were in the apartments, they were dosed with LSD, and then they were basically studied by CIA scientists.
In the 1970s, a commission on the CIA's activities within the U.S. exposed the existence of Project MK-Ultra, a secret program that used drugs and torture to manipulate its victims' mental states.
Kool-Aid was spiked with LSD. It was horrible.
These experiments were conducted on prisoners in secret detention centers around the world, as well as within American universities, hospitals, and prisons. The CIA also funded brutal experiments involving electroconvulsive therapy in Montreal, Canada. Victims of MK-Ultra included Ken Kesey and Allen Ginsberg. It's one of the darkest conspiracies out there, and we still don't know the full extent of it.
If you have seen the news regarding UFOs lately, you will see that, at the very least, that which was once considered pure fantasy is now within the realm of plausibility, or even possibly outright confirmed. So, I offer my experiences and knowledge to free those who, like myself, are caught up in things far beyond what most would understand, unless discussing some form of science fiction or fantasy entertainment. We now have science that proves thoughts affect reality, and in a far greater way than we currently understand. Still, we have proof that thoughts manifest reality, and beyond the mere you must think it, for it to be. There is real scientific data that proves thoughts can manifest things into reality in ways beyond logical comprehension. All really cool. But for the most downtrodden of us, the mentally ill, this knowledge is much akin to the legalization of weed, and that it should free many of whom are wrongly imprisoned. With the knowledge that even the likes of presidents and Congress were kept out of the loop regarding UFOs, and with the recent potential confirmation by whistleblower David Grush, we now know that more likely than not only have people been telling the truth, that they were threatened to remain silent, or had some strange, horrible, or threatening experience. Maybe they were even tried to be discredited or dissuaded from speaking. We must now take those accounts as seriously as we must believe the accounts of those who have been victimized. Because the truth is not out there, it is everywhere. And in fact, if we take these things seriously, we must realize that entertainment has been leaking the truth for years. So those people who got thrown away or taken away because they swore the TV talked to them, or that a movie was about them, or that some game was spilling the beans about top secrets. Maybe they even talked to angels or the dead. Shit, maybe they even said they had been talking to aliens in their head. Yeah, they might not have been lying. And if you're a family member, maybe you should have given them the benefit of the doubt and tried to understand instead of condemn. People's lives are at stake or have been ruined. I can be a little snippy on their behalf. No one seems to care about the so-called crazy people. But what if they were not just annoyances you could justify throwing away? What if they were victims? Or emissaries? Perhaps even warriors on your behalf? With the reality being that we know very little of consciousness or imagination, if we utilize that which we understand about science to understand ourselves, we would find that there is real evidence to suggest there is more than meets the eye going on around us. With the knowledge that science and recent events can more than justify an open-minded approach, I would argue that it can be, and is quite imperative at this time, for us to take larger-than-life ideas seriously. Not only can it help you to empathize with those you may ignore, those you might even wish to be rid of, or those who could simply just frighten you. We should do this for everyone. Naturally, but for some reason, our planet has had issue with that. And come to think of it, a lot of normal people do quite crazy things. So, we could reason sanity is not really even a state of mind or idea. It's a product designed to entrap one into a box, or condemn those who refuse to fit neatly within. A news and political system designed solely to pit people against each other is crazy. A place where the little people do all the work, but reap none of the rewards is crazy. A place where real, life-altering, perception-changing phenomena is ignored, even with real scientific evidence to suggest, hey, listen, shit is getting interesting on this planet for the better for once. One, just to relax you, whatever force is out there clearly has to like us, or it would have destroyed us. And it's also very clear that the powers in control of our lives, those with all the money, the political power, or religious authority, have kept the truth hidden from us. If all signs are to be believed, and you know what? I have faith, and that tells me, in the end, I will be proven right. What saddens me is I do not do this for that reason. I do this because every day someone is suffering because, if I am right, they are dealing with something so strong that I know it nearly killed me. And I hate to know that there are those who right now could feel so much better if someone would just say, I see you, and I believe you are telling the truth. Well, I see you, I believe you, and I am sorry that so few are willing to speak.
Is there such a thing as a vibrational network? Some kind of inner technology capable of connecting us with the spiritual world? Would this explain secret CIA research related to training clairvoyant spies? Quantum physics experiments have shown that in altered states of consciousness, under the influence of brain hemispheric synchronization, it really is possible to produce an extracorporeal state and access dimensions beyond space-time and even interfere with them. In this video, we're going to explore some mysterious cases about metaphysical abilities involving espionage research like the Gateway experience and famous psychics, and how phenomena of clairvoyance, astral travel and channeling are more real and common than you might think. The Gateway Experience was a highly classified research program sponsored by the U.S. Army Intelligence and the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, in the 1980s. The aim of the project was to explore altered states of consciousness and their potential use in enhancing human performance, including psychological and physiological benefits. The technique used in the Gateway Experience was created by Robert Monroe, a pioneer in the field of consciousness research and founder of the Monroe Institute. The program, called the Gateway Voyage, involved a series of exercises designed to induce altered states of consciousness using hypnosis, biofeedback, transcendental meditation, and quantum mechanics. For the Gateway Experience to work, a special methodology was needed to provide hemispheric synchronization in the brain in order to achieve an altered state of consciousness that would eliminate physical space-time limitations. The goal was to allow access to remote viewing techniques, which is the ability to visualize real events in the present, past, and future using only the power of the mind. While the Gateway Experience was primarily a research program, there have been claims that the CIA also used mind power techniques to train agents for espionage. However, the CIA has not confirmed or denied their involvement in such activities. The Gateway Experience was and remains a real possibility. In a June of 1983 CIA report by Commander Wayne M. McDonnell, which was only made public in 2003, it was shown that there were 3 necessary conditions for a person to voluntarily induce an out-of-body experience. The first was to obtain a state of profound stillness in the body. The second was the synchronization of the 2 cerebral hemispheres using audio stimuli from a type of technology called the hemisync with a resonant frequency of approximately 7 Hz. The third was the subsequent stimulation of the right hemisphere of the brain to achieve a state of heightened alertness, that is, of hyperfocus. Those 3 conditions together created the possibility of reaching the out-of-body state. Journeys Out of the Body is a fascinating autobiographical book by Robert Monroe, the creator of the techniques used in the Gateway Experience, and also a successful businessman who unexpectedly discovered his ability to leave his physical body and travel to other realms of consciousness. The book describes Monroe's early experiences with these out-of-body journeys, which he called OBEs, and his attempts to understand and control this phenomenon. Monroe reports that his journeys took him to places beyond the physical realm, including other dimensions of existence and realms of pure consciousness, including meetings with beings from other worlds, visits to parallel universes, and encounters with deceased loved ones. Even today, the Monroe Institute is still a leading organization for research and education on the OBE phenomenon, providing insights into the nature of consciousness and the incredible potential of the human mind. Beyond the context of scientific investigation, psychic abilities such as these have been studied and cultivated for centuries, either in ancient traditions of mystical and esoteric cultures, or in cases such as that of the most documented psychic of the 20th century, the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce was an American clairvoyant and spiritual channeler who is often compared to Nostradamus due to his purported ability to make accurate predictions about future events, including the Great Depression of 1929, the rise of Hitler, the outbreak of the World War II, and the death of American presidents. Cayce began practicing self-hypnosis and discovered that he could enter into a trance-like state, or in other words, an altered state of consciousness, in which he could access knowledge beyond his normal conscious awareness and provide information on a wide range of topics, including past lives, spiritual growth, and the future. He began to experiment with this ability, providing readings for friends and family members. These early readings focused mainly on health issues, and many people reported significant improvements after following his recommendations. The principle of mentalism is a fundamental concept in many spiritual and philosophical traditions, including Hermeticism, Theosophy, and New Thought. At its core, the principle of mentalism suggests that everything in the universe, including matter and energy, is ultimately the product of the mind. According to this principle, the universe is mental in nature, and all that exists is a manifestation of the mind or consciousness. This principle holds that the mind is the underlying force behind all physical and non-physical phenomena, and that the universe is a projection of the mind. It suggests that the individual's thoughts and beliefs have a direct impact on the world around them, and that they have the power to shape their reality through their thoughts and intentions. This principle is often associated with the concept of the law of attraction, which suggests that like attracts like, and that the individual can attract positive experiences by focusing their thoughts and intentions on positive outcomes. According to the spiritual and philosophical movement of Theosophy founded by Elena Blavatsky, the power of thought is a force that shapes our lives, generating three karmic forces: thought, emotion, and action. Among these, thought is the most powerful force, as it is the origin of action and controls emotion. Like electricity, thought is a potent energy that can be used for good or ill. Understanding thought and how it can be used effectively is crucial because thought is a power we all control to some extent. Thought is an energy that consciousness produces to modify the subtle matter of the mental plane. When we think, we cause our mental body to vibrate in certain ways, and these vibrations create thought forms, shapes in the mental energy field, whose colors, shapes, definiteness of form, and persistence correspond to the quality, type, clarity, and intensity of the thought that produced them. The effects of thought are twofold: those that react on the thinker and those that affect others. Repeated thoughts establish a vibratory habit in our mental body, and thought has side effects on the astral and causal bodies. Thought affects others through the mental field that unites them and us. Radiating vibrations create thought forms that float through the mental plane, setting up corresponding vibrations in the mental bodies of those they impinge on. Additionally, thought vibrations cause changes in the emotional atmosphere, just as emotions play upon the matter of the mental realm and create thoughts. These mental emotional vibrations can affect anyone coming within their range, and thought forms can spread rapidly over a wide area, being more like radio or TV waves than air or water waves. Thought forms can also be directed to focus on a particular person. This narrative is a testament to the power of the human spirit and the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding, inviting us to explore the depths of our own potential and the unseen realms that surround us. Pay special attention to this. You must understand that every human being has inner technology capable of changing space and time. You are able to manifest a better timeline, fully aligned with your life purposes. Use this knowledge wisely and help us create timelines in which we all live in harmony, peace, and abundance.
The only strange and inexplicable event that has been discussed publicly is that one time we had a small plane go down somewhere in Africa. We needed very much to find out where that plane had crashed, and we were not able to find it by surveillance from our satellites. So the director of the CIA, he was also director of all the intelligence agencies, heard about a woman in California that was a medium, and he contacted her, and she gave him the latitude and longitude of the plane's whereabouts. And the next time one of our space satellites went over that area, we located the plane where she said it was.
My name is Bob Wilton. I'm a journalist. I've been investigating a story about a classified government program.
So what you're saying is that you were a psychic spy?
A Jedi warrior. I'd heard that the U.S. government was training psychic soldiers, and that Lynn Cassidy was the best of the best.
I've been reactivated. I'm on a mission.
I could come. Lynn's story was unbelievable, crazy, and completely true.
We have to dream a new America that no longer has an exploitative view of everyone. You will be a psychic weapon. Feel it, yes! We must create warrior monks who can pass through walls and see into the future.
Congratulations, Scotty. Sorry it doesn't work out between you two.
What are you doing? Cloud bursting. Keeps me in shape. And it's gone.
Geez, you had like the whole desert to drive in, Lynn.
Please, please. Thank you for picking us up.
How are we gonna stop them? They've got guns. We're Jedi. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our minds.
Holy.
I went looking for a story, and my friend Lynn brought me an adventure.
It's okay, we're Americans. We're here to help you.
What happened?
I think I just ran him over. Oh, crap.
Lieutenant Colonel Django used funds from the project's black budget to procure prostitutes.
That's a lie.
And to get drugs for himself and his men.
Well, the hooker thing is definitely a lie.
Human mind. 600 miles of synaptic fiber, 5.5 ounces of cranial fluid, 1,500 grams of complex neural matter. A 3-pound pile of dreams. But I'll tell you what it really is. It is the ultimate battlefield and the ultimate weapon. The wars of this modern age, the psychic age, are all fought somewhere between these damp, curvaceous undulations. From this day forward, you are all psychic soldiers, paranormal paratroopers, mental marines who are about to ship out on the adventure of their lives. This is our beachhead, and this is your landing craft. You shall engage the enemy in his own mentality. You shall chase his dreams. You shall fight his demons. You shall live his nightmares. And those of you who fight well, you will find yourselves on the path to becoming international secret agents. In other words, psychonauts. The rest of you will die. Oh, Maury.
Children, you are not going to die.
Well, if you're not a psychonaut, then you might as well be dead.
They told me this was a summer camp.
Dogan. Don't worry about old Coach Oleander. I've been coming here for years, and trust me, nothing ever happens.
Yeah, Dogan, Lily's right. You don't got nothing to worry about. Except for that giant monster in the lake I was telling you about.
Bobby Zilch! I told you to stop scaring people with that ridiculous old legend. I don't want the kids to be afraid to go out at night and walk alone on the perfectly safe paths of Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp. And we don't want to scare our special guests, superstar psychonauts Sasha 9 and Mia Vodello.
Light monster!
Formation.
It's resisting. Quick, bring it over here.
What is it?
It's just a little boy. What's your name, darling?
I'll find out. Kid, get in! Ugh.
My name
Starts with a D.
is Rasputin. But everybody calls me Raz.
Please don't kill us, lake monster!
Compelling. Armored like a tank.
Sorry I'm late. I don't want to disrupt your briefing, Agent Oleander. Agents 9, Vodello, please, continue.
Where do you think you're going?
You've broken into a highly classified remote government training facility.
I know. Isn't it great? Listen, why don't I just sit over here quietly with my fellow psychedets? Hey, how's it going? I like your hat.
We need to have this young man taken from here immediately.
I'll call his parents.
What? But don't you train psychonauts here?
Yes, darling, but...
To soar across the astral plane. To wage psychic warfare against the enemies of free thought.
That is what I wrote on the front of the pamphlet.
Those words are why I'm here, Coach Oleander. Do you remember what you wrote on the inside of that pamphlet? You were born with a special gift. But the people around you treat it like a curse. Your mother is afraid of you. And your father looks at you with shame in his eyes. Come to Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, and you can show them all. Back home, your powers make you a loner, an outcast, a circus freak. But in this dojo, in this psychic dojo, they make you a hero.
Get that soldier a bunk.
Now.
We came up with the idea of PsyOps because basically we wanted to come up with something different and unique for the third-person action adventure genre. So we looked for something new and different, and we started to research military tactics and things that the military have used over the years. And as we started doing more research into different types of psi powers, we found that there was a whole bunch of different powers that have been researched by governments around the world for decades now. And all these powers have actually been used in real military simulations around the world. So we took that and we just started digging deeper and deeper into the research of it. And it's actually pretty scary to find out all the things that are going on in the military. The more you look into this, the more you find. People are really doing some pretty in-depth research into telekinesis and even pyrokinesis and mind control and how the governments have used mind control in different warfare situations. We talked to a number of experts in the field too, and even brought some people in to talk to find out exactly how they've used these powers in the real world situations.
And then in addition, we also looked into some declassified government documents. The United States government and governments around the world have been supporting PsyOps programs for several decades.
It was really kind of amazing to find out that a lot of this really existed.
Hey.
Hey, you
don't really have tickets for Ravi Shankar, do you?
I lied to get you here because it's time to communicate.
Communicate. Have you met Abed?
It's not the two of you that need to talk.
Hey, wait a minute. Where's Weezer?
They're coming. All right, now, the only reason why this whole mess got started is because both of you wanted the best for Abed. And I think the lesson we can all take away from this is that everyone should always do whatever they want and leave each other out of it.
Is that your take? Let me give you mine. You and your pillow-legged girlfriend got all up in my stuff because you wanted to be cowboys, and then you turned chicken when you found out it would take more than speeches and guided missiles.
Interesting. I hadn't seen the Iraq metaphor, but...
What Iraq metaphor? I'm talking about your speeches and her guided...
Got it. The point is that Britta is sorry, right?
Wrong.
Crap.
Abed may not be a great filmmaker, but that doesn't mean that he wants to make falafel. You need to let him make his own decisions.
Make his own decisions? Have you met Abed? You know who he is?
Yes, I
you
know.
have
Guys,
no...
He
You're
loves
stupid.
I'm finished.
Britta, Jeff, Dad. Dad.
How's it going, buddy?
I don't want to be your father. I think you are weird, Abed.
Okay, look, I need to talk to you about Abed.
He's not normal.
What is wrong with you? All I want to do is take care of you. Why will you not answer me?
What do you think, Dad? I think you are weird, Abed. And I think the wrong person just left. It's not exactly Citizen Kane.
لم أقل أبداً بإني لم تك على رحيلها.
لم يكن عليك قول أبدا.
I feel a little out of the loop here.
That feeling is called the joy of freedom.
My son is hard to understand. If making movies help him be understood, then I pay for the class. With falafel as a fallback.
Abed.
Yeah.
Did you do all of that to me on purpose? But that's not a very nice way to treat your friends.
Well, Britta, it isn't called friend business. It's called show business.
He's smoking.
Honey, let him leave the nest.
Get your hand off of my knee.
The tentacles reach far back into the last century. But it wasn't until victories in Europe and Japan and the onset of the Cold War that political and economic conditions became perfect for actual execution. A conspiracy bigger and more secret than the Manhattan Project.
More odious and far-reaching.
No sooner had we defeated Germany than a new threat started appearing in skies over America. Drawn to Earth by the latest threat to extinction, the H-bomb. Explosions acting as transducers, drawing alien life forms through wormholes in spaceships using electrogravitic propulsion. Advanced extraterrestrial species visiting us, concerned for mankind and the threat of our self-destruction, forestalling our annihilation through their own self-sacrifice, and crashes at Roswell, more importantly, places like Aztec. World leaders signed secret memos directing scientific studies of alien technology and biochemistry. Classified studies were done at military installations S4, Groom Lake, Wright-Patterson, and Dulce. Extracting alien tissue, tests were done on unsuspecting human subjects, and elaborately staged abductions in craft using alien technology recovered from the down saucers, including human hybridization through gene editing and forced implantation of alien embryos.
Why do such a thing and lie about it? Our own government.
Your own government lies as a matter of course, as a matter of policy. The Tuskegee experiments on black men in the 30s, Henrietta Lacks.
What are they trying to do?
That's the missing piece.
But it's not hard to imagine. A government hiding, hoarding alien technology for 70 years at the expense of human life and the future of the planet. Driven not only by corporate greed, but a darker objective.
The takeover of America.
And then the world itself, by any means necessary, however violent, or cruel, or efficient. By severe drought, brought on by weather wars, conducted secretly using aerial contaminants and high-altitude electromagnetic waves. In a state of perpetual war. To create problem, reaction, solution scenarios to distract, enrage, and enslave American citizens at home. With tools like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act, which abridge the Constitution in the name of national security. The militarization of police forces in cities across the U.S., the building of prison camps by the Federal Emergency Management Agency with no stated purpose. The corporate takeover of food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, even the military in clandestine agendas to fatten, dull, sicken, and control a populace already consumed by consumerism.
And I encourage you all to go shopping more.
A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes. And the final takeover begins.
The takeover of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed multinational group of elites that will cull, kill, and subjugate.
Happening as we sit here.
It's happening all around us.
The other shoe waiting to drop.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
Digital money will disappear.
They can just steal your money?
Followed by the detonation of strategic electromagnetic pulse bombs to knock out major grids.
What will seem like an attack on America by terrorists or Russia.
Or a simulated alien invasion using alien replica vehicles that exist and are already in use.
An alien invasion of the U.S.
The Russians tried it in '47.
You can't say these things.
I'm going to say them tomorrow.
It's fear-mongering, claptrap isolationist techno-paranoia, so bogus and dangerous and stupid that it borders on treason. Saying these things would be incredibly irresponsible.
It's irresponsible not to say it.
Especially if it's the truth.
Swiftly, I wanted to speak to you about the boy. He and a few like him are why I travel. You have it in your power to encourage him without interfering. Such musical geniuses I saw in one of your ship's libraries, one called Mozart, who as a small child wrote astonishing symphony. A genius who made music not only to be heard, but seen and felt beyond the understanding the Wesley of such a person. Not with music, but with the equally lovely intricacies of time, energy, propulsion, and the instruments of this vessel, which allow all that to be played. But you're right in something else. He is just a boy for now. He should be encouraged, but told none of this.
We're alone. In an uncharted part of the galaxy. We've already made some friends here. And some enemies. We have no idea of the dangers we're going to face. But one thing is clear. Both crews are going to have to work together if we're to survive. That's why Commander Chakotay and I have agreed that this should be one crew. A Starfleet crew. And as the only Starfleet vessel assigned to the Delta Quadrant, we'll continue to follow our directive. To seek out new worlds and explore space. But our primary goal is clear. Even at maximum speeds, it would take 75 years to reach the Federation. But I'm not willing to settle for that. There's another entity like the Caretaker out there somewhere who has the ability to get us there a lot faster. We'll be looking for her. And we'll be looking for wormholes, spatial rifts, or new technologies to help us. Somewhere along this journey, we'll find a way back. Mr. Paris, set a course for home.
Aye, Captain.
From this command center, we control the most influential demographic of the entire population. We decide everything, from what clothes are in style to what slang is in vogue.
Feathered tank tops, matching pants, kind of a Buffy meets chicken run.
Feathers are the new rhinestones.
The new word for cool will be jerkin. As in, dude, that's jerkin. Ooh, that's dirty.
This is the epicenter of all trends. We turn your world into one giant TV commercial. But how, you may ask, can our operation be so effective? Sure, these kids have brains like Play-Doh, just waiting to be molded into shape, but something else must be going on, right? The Chinese guy knows what I'm talking about. To answer some of your questions, we've produced a short educational film. Lights!
Hello, I'm Eugene Levy, and yes, I'm an actor. No, I said cappuccino. I'm here to talk to you about something very important. No, it's not about me or my career. I'm here to talk about subliminal messages in rock and roll music, or as it's simply known in some cultures, rock music. You see, for years, the government has been wisely coercing teenagers to buy products they normally wouldn't want just to get their money. Fact, kids don't have bills to pay. Fact, they don't pay taxes. But they do babysit and hold minimum wage jobs that earn them wads of cash as thick as, well, my body of work. But these kids today aren't dumb. They're not going to buy just anything. That's why the government has been planting small subliminal advertising suggestions in today's rock music. The results? We can now get these kids to buy just about anything. We can have them chasing a new trend every week. And that is good for the economy. And what's good for the economy is good for the country. So God bless the United States of America, the most ass-kicking country in the world.
But how can you control the rock bands? What if they find out about the hidden messages in their music?
Ever wonder why so many rock stars die in plane crashes? Overdose on drugs? We've been doing this a long time. If they start to get too curious, our options are endless. Bankruptcy, shocking scandals, religious conversions. We've created a highly rated TV show just to explain what happens to these people.
Well, I understand if you feel that was a long and strange trip. But I felt more than speaking. I could show you proof of what we are dealing with. I know it took some time, and I thank you for your patience.
Zoot!
No, I am Zoot's identical twin sister, Dingo.
Oh, but excuse me.
Where are you going?
I seek the Grail. I have seen it here in this castle.
No. Oh, no. Bad Zoot.
What is it?
Oh, wicked, bad, naughty Zoot. She has been setting a light to our beacon, which I've just remembered is Grail-shaped. It's not the first time we've had this problem.
It's not the real Grail?
Oh, wicked, bad, naughty, evil Zoot. Oh, she is a bad person and must pay the penalty. Do you think the scene should have been cut? We were so worried when the boys were writing it. But now we're glad. It's better than some of the previous scenes, I think.
At least ours was better visually.
At least ours was committed. It wasn't just a string of pussy jokes.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it!
Okay, you're right. I totally should. I have experienced truly wondrous things. I challenged fear and found it reacts organically. That if you are brave enough, strong enough, you can realize that depression, anxiety attacks, fear, and misery itself are living things, and they are being used to control us. If you have doubts of mind control, just think of all of the research into marketing. How it has been proven to control you and I. I've discovered that imagination is alive, and at the core of it is love. Some entertainment has warned us. Everything else has tried to control us. I know so many of us have suffered for simply falling down the rabbit hole. Still, we cannot give up now. We are too fucking close. I have the feeling that due to my level of understanding increasing, and being able to utilize my base abilities more fluently, most of all, with all this truly coming into focus, I can say we are near the end of the yellow brick road at long last. Having found my truth, and seeing that for me, not only does it work, because it does me no harm, does others no harm, and provides beneficial results, it truly has opened my eyes to the very nature of reality. Time, space, and thought are not separate. A simple exercise that shows time is not linear, like one assumes, is that a person can be trapped or willingly stay in a single moment of time while time passes around them due to either traumatic events or happy circumstances. Further, we are only starting to come into our power, to begin not only just to hope, but to believe in impossible things. It may take time for the big magic to pop. Of course, if the evil power is in control of our lives, those who keep this a secret, those who willingly allow misinformation to be taught and spread, to prey on our weakness and need for help, to attempt to destroy our hearts, minds, and souls, to imprison us, to force us to take narcotics to be controlled. Those powers are the ones who keep our friends from paying a visit. All we can do currently is to connect to them spiritually and expose the truth, so that hopefully the powers that be will lose all power over us, and we can finally embrace a better tomorrow. A better world for all of us, where no one will be abused, trodden on, where we will all find our place, our hope, love, community, family, and all that we need, deserve, and always should have had. I still have yet to physically meet my wife, my soulmate, the guardian angel who makes all this possible, along with the Zordon-like being who recruited me, whom I find to be akin to a second father, even though I find father-like figures in plenty of places, something my father always encouraged. So, I can lament and feel along with many of you, that it can be lonely knowing they are there, but just out of reach. Still, we must realize they feel the same way. Which is why we must hone our powers, expose the true nature of reality, and help them break on through to this side.
You don't know me, no?
Queen After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Our lives have been controlled since the dawn of what we consider history. We have been kept under the boot of a powerful, ruling, authoritarian leadership that is malevolent, that has held us back, that has simulated world events to manipulate us, pull our strings, and keep us from the truth. Now I get it. I sound like Doctor We Know Dis. But the truth is, there is power in speaking the truth, and exposing it. It can empower us to remind ourselves of the stakes, the facts, the dream, the return of loved ones, a better quality of life, the ability to explore the universe, inside and outside, the eradication of fear, misery, and suffering, a world of equality, where we all find our place. I know that this very video is dangerous. After all, I believe this. So what I am doing is challenging fear, evil itself, saying, look, I refuse to back down. And while I might not have much to say after this, I knew when I felt the call I had to answer. I had to knock one more out of the park.
Where is she? Battery's dying.
Do you have a charger?
I'm checking the car. Whoa. I'm getting us a charger. Don't worry, I'll find him.
Hurry!
I got a life and death call. Give a charger?
Sir, you need to wait your turn.
Excuse me.
Hey, take a number.
Now who's gonna give me that charger?
I have no right to ask you this, but you're my family's only hope.
I need your car. Who are you? How did you get involved? I just answered my phone.
Hello? Are you there?
I was just wondering if you wanted to, go out sometime.
You want to get a coffee?
Now?
Yes, now.
I'll just hang on.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be.
Her name is Sadie.
Who wakes up next to you?
I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but I think she might be the one.
I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you.
She really is great. You'll see.
Any word?
She ghosted him. I bet she isn't even seeing your text.
She does travel a lot for work.
Go to her.
I'm going to London.
See, you get it. It's a grand romantic gesture.
Yeah, that is amazing, mate. 5,000 miles to surprise a girl who you've only met once, especially if she's the one who ghosted you.
No, she didn't ghost me. She just doesn't have an international calling plan.
Oh, right.
Where am I?
Oh, God, you have the wrong guy? I'm a farmer. Wait.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you walk, Cole? Sadie.
Who are you?
CIA.
So confused. They kept asking me about the tax man.
They asked you about the taxman?
They think I am a tax man. You're the tax man.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. You got me kidnapped and tortured all after one day. I swallowed a rock.
You're the one who flew to London.
It was a romantic gesture.
Get every bounty hunter on the continent. I want her alive.
bigger than you and me.
Didn't it ever occur to you that he could be a foreign asset trying to compromise your mission?
Who the hell are you?
I'm the boyfriend.
Do you trust me?
Is that a joke?
When a goddess, a true guardian angel, comes to you, like the ending scene from The Freakin' Crow, you do not doubt her. And when she proves how real she is, and how much she cares, how she can help you, and that God itself sent her, you really deserve a knock in the old noggin for doubting such wonderful things that you can feel, that you know feel true, and that prove themselves over and over. We all have similar stories. Maybe you are not eternally in love with your angel, in a Susie Q kind of way, and serious points if you get that 90s kid geek reference. When I know that we are Zordon's Rangers, and we must kick the spiritual ass of evil day in, day out, no matter how, some way, through meditation, through dreamlike spiritual warfare, you name it, I charge head in and attack that little nuisance known as fear consistently. I do so with pride, and even at times, sheer joy. With love and hope in my heart, the knowledge that I fight for the love of my life, that represents all I love in life. The sheer love of all life, in all forms, the passion, goofiness, the faith, the dreams, the hope. Evil, I know you are listening. You took much from me. You made me watch a little girl hang herself.
Sorry, I'm not pretty enough. I'm sorry I came into your lives just to get out of it this quickly. I'm sorry for everything. I'm really and truly sorry for everything. But I can't do this. I'm sorry.
I called the cops who did nothing. It was a live stream. And I know many called, and nothing was done to save our little angel. And for that, for either harming my wife, faking her death, or taking her in whatever fashion you did, for all the harm you have caused, all the missing kids, all the rejected children who needed love, the vets who starve and suffer on the streets, for all that is good, for all the good left in the world, I shall kick your fucking ass. When I get the hang of this, I am going to spiritually choke the motherfucking life out of evil. That is not a threat, but my exercise of my American right to freedom of religion. Which is something like, fuck evil, it sucks, serves no purpose. Same goes for fear, that bitch witch, doing the bidding of evil. Love good, love love, love hope, love faith, inspiration, courage, and strength. Protect and teach the weak to be strong. Share your deepest truth. Let nothing be secret, but all be sacred. Have the courage to let that freak flag fly, to show the world you love life. You will never let go of something so wonderful that if you have found love in any form, and even if it's with my honey bunny, because honestly, I think an army of Grimmies would be dope as all shit. I mean, I get Grimmy Prime, because she picked me, but Grimmy would want to love all who deserve or want her, so I know she can find a way, and I am happy to share our love with the world. Because we the dope-ass crew, the couple, the mother and father, the heroes, the peeps, who will save all, because it will be so. For I have worked a great deal at it on her behalf. I had no clue what I was doing at first. I just used the force and followed along. But eventually, when I was ready, She came to me and told me the truth, opened my heart and soul, and now it is hers, forever and always. If I imagined this, I would have put on a better act, but I was always speaking the truth and reporting on my discoveries, experiences, and battles. Also, if I imagined this, I would have imagined her from the start, but she just slowly revealed herself to me. I fell in love with what she represented. I never thought it was possible to be loved or to have the chance to love her, beyond honoring and remembering her. But she told me we were soulmates, forever bound through time and space. Adam and Eve, to be exact. Again, why doubt? Sounds good to me, right? Plus, being heroes, being the parents of humanity, that is kinda a lot of work and responsibility. I am so down for it, because I prepared and trained the past several years, without really even knowing, but also kinda knowing, that this was always on the way. So I won't ever give up. And now that I've done the work, I can take it easy, and just wait for the day when impossible things finally happen. If people respond to this video, then I shall make more, for their sake. Otherwise, I have other means of fucking evil's day up. With love, Amber St. Lucifer and Christina Victoria Grimmy. Your heroes.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, just like them old stars.
Hey guys, I'm going to be singing a Jason Mraz song called I Won't Give Up, and I got a massive load of requests to sing this yesterday, so I listened to it and I love it, so.
Your soul, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. Giving you all my love, I'm still looking up. And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. See then the stars, they burn, some even fall to the earth. We got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. Oh. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake.
My goal in my career is to inspire people, is to get my music out there and have people enjoy it and really think of me as an inspirational artist.
That I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we didn't intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. And I had to learn what I got and what I'm not, and who I am. I won't give up on.
I love my mom and I'm happy I got to do this for her.
The skies get rough, giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I Still looking up.
You're strong, so own it. Love me.
Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight upon a fiery steed? Late at night I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. They've gotta be strong and they gotta be fast and they gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light. They've gotta be short and they gotta be soon and they gotta be larger than life. Larger than life. Somewhere after midnight in my wildest fantasy, somewhere just beyond my reach, there's someone reaching back for me. Bracing on the thunder and rising with the heat. It's gonna take a Superman to sweep me on my feet. I need a hero. I'm holding on for a hero till the end of the night. And they've gotta be strong and they've gotta be fast and they gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding on for a hero till the morning light. And they gotta be sure, they gotta be soon, and they gotta be larger than life. Larger than life. Up where the mountains meet the heavens above, where the lightning splits the sea. I could swear there's someone somewhere watching me. Yeah. Through the wind and the chill and the rain and the storm and the flood, I can feel his approach like the fire in my blood, like the fire in my blood. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. And they gotta be strong and they gotta be fast and they gotta be first from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light. They've gotta be sure and they've gotta be soon and they gotta be larger than life. Larger than life.